The deadline for lawmakers to reach an agreement to avoid a potential federal government shutdown is drawing closer. Joining us in the studio is Alex Astin from Burns Estate Planning to break down those financial impacts if a shutdown were to happen come October 1st. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio today. We were actually talking this before the break, but you know, we've been hearing a lot about government shutdowns in the recent years. It's something that comes up a lot, and we're at risk of it a lot. Why does that keep happening?
Well, this is common, right? This happens roughly 4 times every 10 years, and this is continuous for the last 50 years. So we see this often, and the reason what happens, the way U.S. law is written, government agencies cannot be funded unless it's passed by Congress. And if that doesn't happen before Saturday at midnight, it looks like we'll be heading into another shutdown.
Yeah, that deadline is September 30th, so the shutdown would take place on October 1st. And what would be some of the impacts, at least federally?
So yeah, that's the biggest part is federal employees. Especially around here, we have a lot of government employees. So you think of your uniformed officers, right? Your active duty military, TSP at the airport, TSA at the airport, right? So all these employers, well, they're considered what's called essential. They'll still have to continue to go to work, but unfortunately, they won't be paid during that time. Luckily, in 2018, a law was written to allow them to get back paid for once the government shutdown does end, but that's a huge part of the local economy around here. So it's not only going to stop there, it's certainly going to have a trickle-down effect to the rest of Panama City area, right? Because think of all those employees that aren't getting paid, right? The last government shutdown happened in 2018, and it lasted 35 days. If these federal employees are not prepared for an emergency like that, well, they're going to stop spending. They have bills to pay, right? They might not go out to eat. They might not go spend discretionary income around the local area. So it was actually measured in 2018 that we lost about $11 billion in the economy during that 35-day shutdown. So hopefully we can avoid it, but these are certainly some things to be thinking of. And most people always ask me, what about Social Security, right? Am I still going to get my Social Security check? The answer is yes, you will still get your Social Security check and your Medicare payments paid for. Those are funded by separate funds, so we should be okay there.
As well as disability is funded
yes,
too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and you know, the trickle down thing, you know, people think, well, maybe it's just going to affect federal employees. It could affect business owners here if that were to happen, because like you said, I mean, if you're not getting your paycheck, you're not going to want to go out to eat.
No, you're not. So yeah, just get prepared for it, right? These things happen all the time. Just have your emergency fund set away. 6 months was what we usually recommend, but they happen often. So if we can pay off those credit card bills or have that emergency fund saved up in preparation for things to happen in the future, it behooves you to do so because we know they're common and they will happen. And right now it's probably a little too late to get ready for this one that's possibly upcoming.
Yeah, so always better to plan ahead. So in the next few days, is there anything someone could do to get prepared?
Next few days, probably not. It's a little bit short of a time frame, but if you have some extra cash stuffed away, you know, look at where you need to allocate your funds. Create a budget, right? All right, if the government is shut down like last time for 35 days, what do I have to pay over the next 35 days? Create a budget, right? Your essentials, it's your groceries, it's your gas, it is what you need to do to maintain your life. And then look where you have discretionary spending, going out to eat, going to the movies, right? Doing things that aren't absolutely essential to your life, and you might have to cut back on that for a little bit. So if you can, hopefully this doesn't become the case, but if we can, get prepared for it to be.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us in studio, and we'll have all of these tips from Alex here on our website, WJHG.com. Stick around with us. We'll have more news coming right up.